Few industry executives would have the moxie to launch a new film company in the middle of a full-scale war. But ahead of AFM, distribution veterans Veronika Yasinska and Nadiia Zaionchkovska unveiled the start of Greenlight Films, an all-rights distribution and co-production outfit for Ukraine. Backed by the holding company that owns Ukraine's Multiplex cinema chain, which operates 25 theaters with 148 screens across 12 cities and accounted for more than 40% of the local box office last year. Greenlight is betting big on the theatrical business. Despite the war, theatrical revenues in Ukraine have grown strongly in the past 2 years, bouncing back from the COVID hit. With a total take in 2023 expected to top the $60 million mark, the box office number gives us reason to believe that the market has fully recovered from COVID and would be booming if it weren't for the Russian invasion, says Yasinska, Greenlight Films CEO. We see a window of opportunity launching now. Greenlight Films Chief Content Officer Zaionchkovska notes that Ukraine, from an economic and security perspective, is already part of Europe and is on a fast track to join the European Union. She adds that Ukraine has been self-sufficient for some time now, a subtle dig at the pre-war tendency for film distributors to bundle Ukraine together with Russia and other former Soviet Union nations into a single rights territory, the CIS. It was a Moscow-centered shame, she says. With nearly 40 years of experience between them, the pair certainly have the industry chops. As head of indie distributor Volga Ukraine, Yasinska has released such hits as Paddington and the Hunger Games franchise in the territory. Zaionchkovska is an acquisitions and production vet who has worked at regional powerhouses including Aurora Distribution, Film.ua, 123 Production, and OTT platform Megogo. Going into their first AFM, they spoke to the Hollywood Reporter about launching a company in the middle of a war, why the Ukrainian box office is booming, and their plans to become the territory's leading buyer, fully independent of Russia. This might be a stupid question, but why did you want to start a distribution company in a country in the middle of a war? Veronika Yasinska, maybe I can start by telling you a little bit about us Ukrainians. The main characteristic of our nation is resilience. We are now more than 600 days into the full-scale invasion, but we continue to live, we continue to work, we continue to develop and build new businesses. The reality of life, the reality of business, is that people have adjusted to the situation, and our business, the media and licensing industry, has also adjusted. The first month of the full-scale invasion was difficult, but we adapted and we started to think about the future. The decision to launch Greenlight Film is the result of an in-depth analysis of the Ukrainian media market, of Ukrainian theatrical distribution from 2020 to 2023. We see now as the perfect window of opportunity and growth potential for our sector despite the current wartime. There are challenges, but the 108 theaters currently operating in Ukraine are generating healthy results. This year, both in local currency and dollar currency, our box office will exceed 2022 results. We see this window of opportunity now because the moment after the end of military aggression will lead to rocket-speed growth in our market. Nadiia Zaionchkovska and Ukraine is a very competitive market. It's a pre-sale market. So we are, at AFM, mostly pre-buying big titles, the kind of big commercial theatrical DNA titles being pre-sold at the script level for release in 1 to 2 years' time. Because our intention is to start operating as soon as possible, at AFM we also actively looking at completed films and titles in post-production. But for the big splashy franchises, this is the time to buy them on the script level, to build our slate for 2024 to 2025. Why has the theatrical business in Ukraine held up so well, despite the war? Nadiia Zaionchkovska, you should understand that Ukraine is a huge country and the war isn't everywhere. It's not like the whole country is in a state of constant fear. The system for air raid signals is all digital and very well organized, so if the siren sounds, people can get out of a cinema to safety quickly. If a screening gets canceled because of an air raid, the tickets are still valid for another screening. We're backed by a big group which owns a chain of cinemas and they are planning new openings within the coming year. People have adjusted to the new reality and, at the same time, people need entertainment. Normal life includes family time, entertainment, and escapism. Life goes on. Veronika Yasinska, Ukraine as a market has been growing steadily since the early 2000s, in terms of cinema admissions, screens, ticket price, and box office.